Praise be Jesus and Mary. In our first reading, we hear of the first lies of the devil in sacred scripture. And we know what happens when his lies are believed. In the Catechism of the Catholic Church, it says that man, tempted by the devil, let his trust in his Creator die in his heart, and abusing his freedom, disobeyed God. All subsequent sins, as the Catechism goes on to say, is disobedience to God and lack of trust in his goodness. The devil's lies in temptation, the devil's lies in spiritual desolation leads to lack of trust in the goodness of God and ultimately to disobey his commandments. This is the ordinary form of spiritual warfare. And we need to develop the capacity to listen to the voice of God. We do this by frequenting the sacraments, prayerfully reading his word, and faithfulness to mental prayer. This heart-to-heart conversation with the Lord, where we speak from our hearts and we listen to his voice with our hearts. This is why St. Teresa of Avila says that those who persevere in mental prayer, the devil knows that they are lost to him, because the very faculties, the internal senses and the faculties that we engage in during mental prayer are purified and are strengthened. The very faculties that the devil attacks, those are purified and strengthened. St. Maximilian Kolbe would suggest to frequently spend time with the Immaculate, converse often with her. Our Lady's voice is sanctifying, and we see this in the Visitation. Her very voice sanctifies St. John the Baptist, and her voice leads to absolute trust in the Lord and leads to obedience to her Son. And we see this at the wedding feast at Cana, where the servants did what Jesus said. Why? Because Our Lady told them to. If you think about it, those servants did not even know Jesus. They didn't know who the Lord was. They didn't even see any signs. That would be the first of his public miracles. So they didn't know him. But they did exactly what he said, which didn't make sense at all because they lacked wine. And here, the Lord was asking for water, to fill it up with water. But they did it anyways. Why? Because Our Lady's voice, her presence, inspires confidence, trust, and she guides us to do the will of her Son. Stay close to Our Lady. Where Our Lady is, the devil cannot be.
Miserere